Good morning, guys. Good morning. Molweni. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. You know, in South Africa, when we talk about the issues of land, it becomes a very touchy subject, especially to the people who love land. It becomes a very touchy subject. We don't know who to blame, who to believe, especially because the land issue becomes a tool in the hands of politicians. And before we enter into this, we're going to watch what Helen Zille said, and I'll come back with more commentary. But before we do that again, and whenever I'm about to do a political content, I'd like to start with a disclaimer. Why do I do that? So that the people who are looking for an expert's view are not sitting here in a channel of somebody that knows very little about politics. I need you to release you earlier so that you go look for the experts. Please do note that I am not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who is also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of this gorgeous country of ours that the politicians are busy toying with, Anyway, before we start, I need you to watch a clip of what Helen Zille said, and we'll are still going to talk more on this topic.
I believe that land has a huge value if it is producing food and jobs. And some of the most fertile land of South Africa is doing neither. It's not producing any food and it's not producing any jobs. It might be producing a few mealies and some chickens for the person who's been allocated the right by the chief to be on that land, or it might be used to build a mansion from someone who the chief likes from the town who's come and built it there. But that's not the productive use of the land. So if land can be used as a tool of patronage to reward the people you like and to punish the people you don't like because you kick them off the land, and there's no security of tenure and no title deeds, you can't use land for food and jobs. And a vast amount of the most fertile land in KwaZulu-Natal is in black hands, not producing food and jobs.
And in my videos, there's a video that I made some time ago, I think earlier this year, and I was maybe like 4 months ago. I was talking about the issues of land, and I was maybe 3 months, I was talking about how the villagers, the community that I grew up in before one lives in the suburbs and all of that, living the life that we used to live in the villages. I don't miss that hard labor life. I have to be honest with you. I don't miss it. It was too hard for me. Hey, even though I didn't know any better, I was always wishing in my heart, like, isn't there any other better alternative than this life that we are living? Anyway, what I'm trying to say though is that I was asking myself, what happened to the land that the villagers used to have? Because there was land, we used to call it emasimini, that land used to know that it belongs to that family, this one belongs to that family, that one belongs to the Dlaminis, that belongs to Abakwajali. Do you understand? So, and then after some time, I was talking to somebody who wanted to go and plant sorghum in the village. And then I asked my ex-husband, because I know in their family they had a lot of those. So I asked him, he said, no, that land now is under INGONYAMA trust, and we were told that they want to fence it out. If you want to use it, you must go and talk to the chief, because now the people were no longer using the land, and that land is now in the hands of the INGONYAMA trust. I was like, but why? Now when you look at this, though I was a child when people were too busy working in the fields, planting maize, planting beans and all of that, but I remember that that was before I got married, because I got married at 19 and married into a family that really loved farming. So my first experience of working in a huge field was with my in-laws, and I cried because me and hard labor, we are not friends. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that what that used to do, it provided for the community the means to live, right? You'd find the ones that are working somewhere and they get clothes, whether from their employers who were white, then as they give them clothes, and those who are working for those white people or wherever they are, they would send those clothes to the villages, and some communities from some people from the community will be working for the ones that has clothes, and then they get clothes as payment so they can give to their children. Or sometimes, there was this whole thing was connected, but then there was a time when there was a time when you heard that people don't have that land anymore. And then I went home. Oh, first of all, I was accompanying my sister. She worked in a hospital. She was a nurse, but she has stopped working now. She's running her own business and stuff. So now, as I was accompanying her to work, as we were driving through that village, I saw that people, even in the garden, the community, have deserted working in the garden, the common garden. That is something, even though I don't like working in the field, planting everything, doing that and doing that, but I'm a person that loves living in a clean environment. I like planting things and all of that. So I still work the smaller nyana garden that we have where we live. And then when I saw that people deserted even the gardens in their yards, the fields that they used to plant maize, plant beans, nothing is happening there. And I asked myself, I was like, no way, man. The ANC is actually leading. I'm an ANC member, by the way. I'm an ANC member. The ANC government actually replaced the desire for the community to work for themselves, replaced it with a grant. Now people know that they have granted, they don't have to do any other thing. That's one. And I also believe that when we were growing up, we were so poor, you would hardly get 50 cents from nowhere. When I say 50 cents, let us start with 10 cents. You would hardly get 10 cents anyway. So a grant is something good for the community, but it must come with some education, something. How people do things. We need to encourage them and let them know that this is not what you must rely on. Help the community to see that they still need to do the work that they were doing in support of the grant that they are getting. So no one wants to do anything anymore, and the land went back to the hands of INGONYAMA Trust. So now you ask yourself, okay, the smaller nyana land that the black people had in the villages, they've been dispossessed of that land. Why? Why do people now, even the small community that had its own land, and are now landless under the black government? Somebody needs to tell me what happened. Was there no other alternative to deal with the land matters without taking the land from your people? I am telling you right now, if you go to the village, people don't have land. I don't know about your village. Maybe in your own village, people have the land, they can do as they want. But the people that had land before in my own village, they don't have land anymore. Many of them, they don't have the desire even to do just having potatoes in their own yard. So my question is, why black South Africans who had land before we had democracy, why don't they have land today under the government that we have? That's my only question. And as always, guys, whatever your views are, in comment section, you are allowed to share your comments there, whether you want to agree or disagree with me on what I said, or maybe you just want to share your views on what we are talking about. But because this is confusing me, this is really confusing me. Even I, in my family, we had our own land, but now we don't have. And when you hear the stories how this happened, you don't really get clarity. But no, I know. Now you do get all those things. So I want to know what happened. What happened? What happened? What happened? Because we grew up in the site that now belongs to KZN. We were not KZN before, but I'm from different sides. Let me clarify this here. From a different side, from Matatiel. My mom is from Mzimkulu, and then from Mzimkulu we ended up growing up on my mom's side, but we still have our family in areas like your East London, Mthatha, Mount Fletcher, Matatiel, nasemzimkhulu. But now ngoku we are living deep in KZN, right? Deep within the Midlands, because we move. We're from Gauteng as well. You go where the money is, and if that place no longer gives you the money that you need, you move to another place. But I do believe that we found our feet in KZN, in the site that we are in now. Anyway, guys, if you watched up to here, guys, thank you for watching my videos. This is South Africa Lady, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. What happened? Why do people in the villages who had land are now landless?